think this is the first one that we've done since we moved it to a month. But the past month has been focused on a few very specific things. I checked the calendar dates of the last meeting, and I don't think that there have been any new releases over the past month. The last release was put out a few days before the last meeting. So nothing on that front, but the ongoing work is continuing as it was previously. The multi-wallet, which has been a large part of the focus, is more or less complete on the server side, is what I'm told, and there's just a lot of bug fixing that's going on now, especially as the client side is integrating, finding a few things here and there that don't work, so being fixed on the server side. And that's been the major focus of the client side work recently, is on integrating multi-wallet as well as on the mobile device. On the web buying side, what I believe is the last proof of concept needed to show that...
Second to last.
Oh, second to last? Okay, what is the last, Josh?
We're currently working on proving our mechanism for sending messages into the network from the web will work.
Yeah.
If that works, like that proves that browsers will be able to communicate in every way that they normally would need to with other nodes. But the second one after that would be building purchase objects in the browser.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that last one.
Yeah, we need to prove that we can build all of the data needed to create a purchase in the browser and then send it in the message once we've built a way to send the messages.
Okay.
So it's not as simple as just like throwing some JSON together and sending it off.
Right. So this second to last prototype is what's being worked on now. And I'll get back to that in a moment. And then on the mobile app side, I believe there's been a few roadblocks in the integration of the multi-wallet, a few things that were unexpected, particularly on the Ethereum side, is my understanding. So that has not yet gotten to a sort of a formal internal testing as we hoped it would, but it's edging ever closer to that point. In terms of where we're headed over the next month, it's more or less the same continuation of what I just talked about. The multi-wallet, getting it integrated into the desktop and into the mobile. The web buying, we just talked through. Once this prototype of doing the message relaying between browser and network is done, then we'll go into the buyer object part. And then hopefully that will prove that the entire field is possible and we shift into actually building it instead of just proving it can be built. And of course, the mobile app hopefully will be in testing by that point. We don't know yet. That's to be determined. So that's where we've been on the development side. There are...
One other thing to point out,
please.
Sam.
Go ahead.
One of the things that we're working on that everything we've just mentioned is dependent on, the multi-wallet work, the mobile work, and the web buying work, is the infrastructure for Insight servers. And proving that out and building infrastructure in the background that runs that smoothly is a dependency of all of the other stuff.
Yes, and that's something we've talked about in the past, is the efforts to prove that out. And to do that, we have built our own little project, I guess, we call Hindsight, which is meant specifically to do that. There's talk of open sourcing that to the community. I don't know if a decision has been made on that yet. But thus far, I don't know if we have. Mike, I don't know, do you want to go further in depth on those efforts?
Yeah, sure. So the place where we are right now is we have some manually created Insight servers that we're characterizing the performance of. In parallel, as Josh said, with the Amazon Web Services infrastructure that we're trying to build to be a more scalable and permanent solution. We've also been working with a third-party provider and exploring failover solutions to try to figure out what we would do in the scenario that our infrastructure is no longer providing the experience that it needs to. So we are in the process of waiting for that infrastructure, both the third-party as well as the first-party stuff that we're designing still, before we execute any serious amount of testing. That said, the initial characterization of our Insight servers that we have propped up are holding up relatively well. We can put approximately 200 to 250 connections through the server before we start hitting the local rate limiting stuff, and we have some configuration changes to apply before we can do any further stress testing there. So we still have some weeks before we can probably get formal test results out and published, but we're expecting to have something like that towards the end of the year.
All right, thank you, Mike. So, other than that, there are two new hires on the OB1 team. One is Austin. He has been focusing on the Ethereum and especially the token side of it very heavily. He's not on this call, but he is around in the OpenBazaar Slack if you have questions or thoughts on that. The other is Stevie, who is on this call. And Stevie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I guess it's just Chris, right, from the community. Hi, Chris. I've just had a look at the repo, by the way. It looks pretty good. So I'll be working on basically the DevOps side of things, which will mean automating the software release of the OpenBazaar products as well as internal OB1 software. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to this is my third day, so fourth day actually. But I'm looking forward to collaborating and getting to know a bit better the team.
All right, thank you, Stevie. The only other thing I have of note is our participation in Hacktoberfest, which Mike has sort of been pushing for and seems to have borne some results. Mike, do you want to briefly talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, GitHub, DigitalOcean, and Twilio are running their 5th annual Hacktoberfest event. And the idea is to corral attention around the open source communities and projects that are hosted on GitHub, and enticing the community to submit pull requests for these open projects with a free t-shirt. That's a limited edition t-shirt that they're offering. So OpenBazaar is taking advantage and participating in the program as well, and we have some issues that are in the OpenBazaar Go repo that are available and open for you to work on. Those issues that are tagged with Hacktoberfest are kind of low-hanging fruit, but if for some reason you feel motivated to take something larger, I understand that any pull request that's submitted against an open repository is eligible. If you're interested in checking out more information about that, you can go to hacktoberfest.digitalocean.com to sign up and get all of the details there. And I'll put a link to the issues that we have prepared into the chat room. It's a little bit long, but if you go to GitHub, you could also find our Hacktoberfest label on our OpenBazaar Go repo.
Thank you, Mike. That is it from the OB1 side. Unless I'm missing anything anyone wants to jump in. Chris, how's everything on your end?
Yeah, things are good. I've been seeing a lot of pull requests and stuff on GitHub flying by, but I've been pretty busy with my own work with Bitcoin.com, so haven't been able to dive too deep. It's great to know that you guys are still plugging along. sounds like, yeah, lots of obstacles that you guys are jumping into. To circle back around on that Insight server, I've been working with the Bitbox JavaScript SDK, and we also use the Insight server. So I put a link there to one of the first things we did is, yeah, as you guys I think have found out, the Insight server has a tendency to fall over. They don't handle, they just fall over for whatever reason. And so Dockerized it, and the nice thing about Dockerizing it, besides making it easy to install, is that when it falls over, it can auto restart. And just wanted to let you guys know I'm focusing a lot of my energy right now on the Wormhole token platform built on top of Bitcoin Cash. There's a lot of there's a lot of token proposals. I think there's like 6 or 7 at this point on Bitcoin Cash, but I'm focused on Wormhole, and another guy I'm working with at Bitcoin.com is focused on the SLP. Those seem to be the 2 front runners. At least that's what we're putting our weight behind. And so if you guys are interested in integrating tokens, I know you guys have plans for ERC20 tokens and all that good stuff. We have also incorporated the ERC20 specification, so our tokens meet those specifications, as well as ERC 721, I think, is the next big token spec that's coming down the pipe. We're focusing on that right now, and so yeah, I'd love to do a joint collaboration with Chris Pacia or whoever else on the OpenBazaar team to just sort of explore this idea of how can we roll these tokens into the multi-wallet, even if it's not right away, even if it's just down the line. But yeah, that's basically what I've been working on. Been trying to use OpenBazaar to buy some stuff, and I use mostly Bitcoin Cash, obviously, so it's a little bit of a struggle. There's I think I'm going to try and in my limited spare time open a store and start offering some of the things that I wish was on OpenBazaar that I can't find.
There you go. Market gap right there. Go ahead and fill it. All right, well, Chris, well, thank you for the update. I appreciate that. Does anyone have anything else to add onto this meeting? Sounds like no. So thank you for everyone's time, and I'll see y'all later.
Right on. Thanks for hosting, guys.